Hello, hello, my Desmadre souls. Welcome to Coming Home to Self No Bypassing, where we have honest conversations with our inner voice aloud. This is a space for unfiltered reflection, spiritual growth, messy truths, and yes, a little bit of humor along the way. Because we are here for the human experience, not to achieve perfection. I am Asa Luna, and this is our journey home. So let's get into the desmadre of the day. And let's start. So this is when I got pregnant and my soul split it in two. And my energy didn't know where to shift. And no, it had nothing to do with the baby at all. It was just me. But at the moment, I did think that it was because maybe it split it into, because the baby and then one for me. But no, that was not it. And I also thought they maybe, when I delivered this baby, it was going to be all fixed and back to normal. But oh boy, was I wrong. So pregnancy was terrible. And now I understand and I know why. It was because my soul was split in two. My essence was picking sides or where to go, and my energy was like a kid trying to stay with both parents, but they got divorced. So poor kid was just having a rough time and struggling trying to figure it out which one was the real me. What a trip, right? But I lived that and I survived it. And I will make another episode about that whole two my soul being split in half. But pretty much what that meant is that one of them was my mind, and my other one was my inner voice. And they were telling me completely different things, and it completely split my whole world in half. And I know that sounds very crazy, but you will understand later on when I explain that um, in another episode. That's not what we're doing today. Um, but when I had the baby, it was such a relief for my body. It felt liberating. I was so happy, and seeing my baby, it was just perfect. Or that's what I thought. I thought it was just everything was perfect. And my husband was loving. My oldest son was very helpful, very sweet. My friends were very supporting, loving, um, and everything seemed going perfectly fine. But as time went by, I felt angry, upset, annoyed, and then people came into my life that caused me a lot of grief. While I was barely recovering from having a baby, I was very angry, like more angry than usual, because I mean, I had a good reason, right? I was barely a few weeks postpartum, and these people were not considerate at all about that, about how I was feeling and how it was the most vulnerable phase in my life. Um, but they weren't aware of that, I don't think, or maybe they were. I don't know. But me allowing all those feelings to come in and taking control was making me someone I am not. But I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that anymore. I lost sight of who I was, and my emotions just took over. And once they did, I was a completely different person. I was bitter, angry, and something I never been before. Negative and almost addicted to bad drama. And then those people I mentioned before were still causing issues for me, and I was fully allowing that in a way because I was in such a heavy energy, and at the same time I was still trying to stick up for myself. So I was trying to set boundaries, and when people are not used to um, people expressing themselves and not allowing them to disrespect you, it goes two ways. Either they step back and apologize and their relationship continues, but in a healthy manner, or they make it all about themselves, even though you don't do anything to them, and they get offended because how dare you stand for yourself, right? And their relationship ends. And hopefully they go away for good, right? But I I think me being in such a heavy and low vibration, it was keeping me trapped in this bad scenario over and over. I was desperate because I knew that that wasn't me, and I kept telling me that, but I just couldn't go back to self. I was so helpless, trapped in my own mind and caught on my angry feelings. Nothing could make me fully happy anymore. And everyone around me that loved me were suffering with me because I was in my worst version of myself, because I wasn't whole. I was split on two, and my mind was in absolute control. And it was very scary. It was a very scary feeling, like there was no going back at all. Like I could never go back. I could never, I just didn't think that was possible anymore. It was very depressing. And I wanted someone to fix it. I wanted someone to come and just tell me, okay, here, I'll fix you, or a magic trick or something, right? I was being so perfectionist in some ways and messy in most. It didn't help that I started working for a very toxic company. It matched my energy just fine, though. I attracted that because I allowed myself to be in that environment and didn't even put boundaries, and I allowed even more people in my work environment to treat me with no respect. But at the same time, I honestly didn't even care because at that point I was numb, just angry, in a victim mindset. And this was someone I had never been before. And I guess that was rock bottom for me. I kind of gave up in a way. I wasn't happy with the treatment at all, but the money was really good. It was helping us, and we were financially getting better. I made more money than I ever made before, but I thought to myself, like, before pregnancy and before all this, um, um, I, I always said to myself, if I have this amount of money, I will be more than happy, and there is no way I could be depressed or sad or worry. Life is gonna be good. Um, but being in this environment and trapped by my own mind made me realize so much. One, if I don't listen to my true inner voice, my mind will make me take action on things driven by fear instead of alignment with things that I truly belong to. And two, nobody can save me. Nobody cannot do this inner work healing that it is crucial for keeping me on being me with my essence and be who I really am. And that is me being loving and being happy and being positive. I am a creator. Number three, so I have five of them. Money, it's not a solution, especially if it comes with losing yourself and allowing the mistreatment. Money was there, but my inner voice and my essence were gone. So that was not worth it, right? And four, if I don't have a decision for myself, others will make the decision for me. And taking control of my life is key to be what I want to be, or others will create my that decision for me that will create my life that I might not like, probably won't like it at all. And the final thing that I learned is when I start putting boundaries and being myself again, some people just can't handle that. Some people can just handle when you are yourself and authentic. They see you as a threat. They don't. They just get scared because it's like, whoa, how dare you? I realized that. I realized that that really does happen. And when I started working there at that company, I was in a very, very bad state. Um, like I said, very low vibration, depressed, just toxic environment. So it was just terrible. But slowly I could tell that my inner voice wanted to talk to me again. And from time to time, I started feeling a bit more confident and, um, just I started slowly trying to get close to who I was. And I noticed the management there did not like that at all. Um, that person was mistreating me bad and started poking, and just being rude to me. And even in days when I was not even at work on the weekends, um, you know, uh, this person will send me really angry messages and stuff like that. So I feel like this is like a very weird, sensitive subject, I guess, because so this person, I never did anything to this person, like 100%. I never did anything to him at all. And I don't know, just when I started being back to myself, um, I can tell he did not like that. He got really like hateful towards me. So this man was under treatment um, to become a woman. And I was told that's why he could not keep a cool head because the hormones or something. Um, and I honestly just, like I said, I was so numb, I just didn't even care. I didn't even have time for me to think about myself. I was not going to be thinking about what his issues were. And so now, while I honestly care less who he wants to be or anybody, I do not care what do you want to be, just be you. And honestly, I support whatever it is that your goal is for this life, as long as it doesn't hurt others, right? So I never question who he was or treat him any different ever. But he did treat me horribly. And he went as far as telling me via text message on a weekend when I was with my family after working like 70, 80 hours a week. So I had no head, right? To be reading these angry messages every time. He felt like just using me as a punching bag. But so he told me that I needed to rethink my career and pretty much that I don't belong in the trades. Now, so it is a fact that I always respected him and allow him to express himself and whoever he wanted to be or whatever he wanted to be. I did not care and I respected that. That's the fact that did make me upset and then it hurt me. And then because I was already in a very vulnerable, sensitive space in my mind, in my head, myself, did affected me because It was the fact that he wanted me to respect him and wanted everybody to respect his decision. But yeah, he was over here telling me that I should rethink my career, my profession, and I don't belong there. And I did stood up for myself and I told him, look, if you don't think I'm a good fit for your company, just let me go. Like, it's fine. Let's talk about it. and but I am not gonna allow you to disrespect me again because he continued doing that the whole time I was there. And obviously I worked really hard for my career. It wasn't handed to me. I worked my ass off for it. And so, it was very disencouraging, um because I deal with that pretty much since I became an electrician, where people try to tell me you don't belong here, or maybe girls don't belong here, or you are too small, or bunch of stuff you do as a woman in the trades. I deal with that. I deal with that. And so it was annoying that it was coming from someone that probably you know shouldn't be coming from. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he probably, I know that we are a minority, right? We should be supporting each other, not bringing each other down. So that's what hit me the most, that it came from someone that it should have been supportive of me and allowing me to be me, versus trying to bring me down and break me. So now that I look back and I realize that even though it was a lot of pain and trauma and going through all this, I realized it was necessary for me to go through all this, to learn so much about me and to grow in ways I would have never been able to grow. Because being in the state of pregnancy, being on the state of postpartum depression, being in this company, being treated like this by someone who I thought it should have supported me instead of making me doubt myself, it really did break me. It broke me, and it was it was in a dark space because of that. But because of that, when they said the best thing about being rock bottom, like in the very bottom, is that the only way now is to go up. And that's exactly how now it feels. That broke me, but I feel like now I'm in a better space, and my personal growth has been just incredible this past weeks. I mean, it's been only weeks, but it really has been very helpful. And it was hard for me to understand the fact that some people, especially the ones that are very insecure with themselves and do not have the awareness of selves, are the ones that will attack you the most, um, and make you um, feel bad about you, or try to mistreat you just for the simple fact that you are you. It has nothing to do with money or education or ranks or whatever. I dealt with this my whole life, and it used to make me question myself a lot more. And it got to the point that I wanted to dim my light to fit in, but that's not my purpose. That's not who I am. And now I know that. And now my goal is that no matter what, I would never betray myself again. Um, it's super hard, especially when we live in a world where they want to oppress us and break us constantly. But this is the ultimate test. Um, that we need to go through for ourselves. Nobody can take that decision for us, and it can be rough, especially when we are not in our best self and we feel helpless, but we are more capable than we think we are. And the beautiful thing about this is that once you are in tune with yourself and once you have this ability to understand who you are and no matter what, be authentic and true to yourself, nobody can ever take that away. And because it's your own personal growth, and that's something nobody can take from you. This is a human experience. That's why we are here. And I just I just want to thank to whoever's listening to this, because like I said, these reflections are very honest and they have been helping me understand my journey, be more kind to myself, understand that I went through a lot. We all go through a lot. We just need to be more kind to ourselves. We need to start listening to that voice that love us instead of the voice that judged us. And so I hope you listen to that voice. Okay. Thank you for listening to this message from my inner voice aloud. Thank you for being here. If anything I share resonates with you, just know that you are not alone. And I hope you can be here Monday for my next adventure. Send me a DM, a message, or leave a comment um, on something that you did that push you out of your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be big or super crazy either. Just baby steps is fine. All right, stay messy, stay curious, do something that scares you today, and don't forget to listen to your true inner voice. Bye bye.